Welcome back. This is Mags on Media. Now, they're arguably three of the most well-known advertising people in South Africa, and collectively, they're on a quest to rid the world of bad advertising. Matthew Bull, Gillian Rightford, and Rob McLennan are combining forces in a new venture dubbed SoloUnion. It's a brand platform which will only work on a project basis with top strategic and award-winning major league professionals. They're calling it the Uber of advertising, and they think they're going to shake up the old agency model in a very big way. All right, to all three of you, a very warm welcome. Matthew Bull, let me start with you. You've suggested in the past that the advertising agency model the world over needs to change. So before you tell us what you've done and what you're doing in South Africa, why does it need to change? What's wrong with it?
Well, I think it's lost its core in that, the most important part of advertising is the creative aspect of it. And I think over the years, and this plays out with all the conversations I have with my biggest clients, some of the biggest advertisers in the world, Unilever, AB InBev. They've said over the last 15 to 20 years, the services around the core product have improved, but the core product itself has actually diminished significantly. And, that's because I guess the industry has been dominated for the last couple of decades by people that put profit before product. Now we're getting back to the place where every client is going, I need better creative again.
Gillian Rightford, that's quite an indictment against the advertising industry the world over, given that you in the past have run an agency. Matthew Bull is suggesting that the core services, I think are the words that you used, have diminished. Where did the agencies here make the mistake? You can't put all the blame on the clients, can you?
No, not at all. And I don't think that it's just agencies here. I think the biggest issue is that agencies have considered themselves a service industry and not a product industry. We actually sell a product. We sell a creative idea and we sell a product, and the notion that we're a service industry has led to all sorts of compromise, and it's led to being paid by the hour as opposed to being paid for ideas. And that's the problem, that clients are paying enormous retainers to sustain businesses but not necessarily getting the good work.
Rob McLennan, don't get too philosophical, but how can an idea be a product? Surely it is a service industry?
Well, I think, you get good products and you get bad products. I think creativity is exactly the same. So you should be paying for someone who has a creative reputation or the best skill in the country or the world. That's what you want for your brand. And I think that's sort of been diluted. And I think a large portion of it has to do with ourselves as marketers, because we've created this model of retainers. So you become a commodity as opposed to people paying for the core services which actually inform their business, which is strategy and creativity.
You're one of the country's leading creative thinkers. How did you allow this to happen? It's happened on your watch, hasn't it?
Well, I'm terrible at business. That's a good start. But I think that, it's something you find out, and it's something we've sort of inherited since the 50s. The way the advertising model has worked since then, it's either worked on a commission on media, then we moved away from that because we thought it was unfair.
But the industry, Matthew Bull's been complacent. They haven't fought hard enough, have they?
They haven't fought hard enough, but at the same time, both parties are complicit in this, because for many years, clients went out looking to get cheaper advertising. That's what they did. Unfortunately, that's all well and good, but you've got to recognize what it is that you're paying for, okay? And if you want to pay top dollar, or you want to get, should I say, top work, you've got to pay top dollar for the thinking.
But not everyone can afford that, though. The clients do have a point, is that in whatever service provider or product provider we're talking about, they are going to look for the best deal, aren't they?
They are, but so I disagree. I think everyone can afford it. I think that if you really look at, how can you not afford to buy something that's worth, it's like people. We're a human business ultimately, okay? What you want to get the best results is the best people. You want the best people, what do you have to pay? The best money. So you can actually afford it. In fact, what you can't do is you can't actually cheapen it up, because that'll just end up cheapening your brand, full stop.
Gillian, you were going to add to that?
No, I was going to say that I think that where they've compromised is on driving fees down.
Yeah.
But the fees aren't actually getting you enough of the right talent in the business. The fees are sustaining the whole business. Matthew did some work on a client, and they discovered that between 11 and 20% of a fee goes to creative and strategy. And the rest goes to everything else.
The suits.
Well, the suits are part of strategy, but
admin,
everything else.
HR.
Yeah.
At the end, I've asked this question to my clients. What do you go to an advertising agency for? And there's only one answer. Ideas, right? So therefore,
and a good lunch.
No, we don't do
There's
that
no money
anymore.
for lunches, Jeremy.
Back in the 90s.
Now it's dinner. It's much more expensive.
Okay, so what you've done, and in a previous conversation, Matthew Bull, you've created something called the Uber of advertising. Am I right? That's how you're defining this project called
Yes, we're not going to
SoloUnion.
list this expensively, but yes.
What are you doing? What are you doing differently that is going to bring back that magic, that creative magic to the industry that all three of you have concurred has gone away?
Well, very simple. We are focused on the product, and it is a product because at the end there is a tangible asset that comes out what we do. So we're very focused on producing the product. We don't send in a sales team to win the business and then give somebody else the work to do. We create the strategies and we create the core creative ideas, and we only do project work. Talent in advertising has left in droves. They've either gone in-house or they've gone to Facebook, Google, those sort of things. Or they've gone freelance. So what we do is we've now have the advantage of working with some of the top people in the world who have chosen to go freelance. Okay, so you've got great strategists, great creative people, senior people, professional people.
So, Gillian Rightford, let's cut to the chase. How much cheaper are you? Not you personally.
Very expensive, Jeremy.
I was going to say that the business model.
No,
20%, 30%, 50% cheaper?
Well, you're paying for what you get. You're not paying for everything else around you. It's a lot more like the consulting model, but it's not about hours necessarily. It's about the value. But it's about going in and answering the right questions, asking the right questions, answering the right questions at a senior level in the business, creating a platform and allowing the partnerships that they might already have in place to get on with it.
Matthew Bull, this is, according to some, and you mainly, the future of advertising. It's the brand new model. How is the idea, though, going to find traction in a market like South Africa that is smaller, that's more entrenched, that is more loyal in terms of brand agency relationship than perhaps the United States, where the panoply is so much bigger?
Well, I think it's a fresh idea. And I think the one great thing about South Africans, we were talking this morning, is they are always looking for progress. It's an incredibly progressive culture in South Africa, believe it or not. So I think that if you then remember what it is that we fundamentally do as professionals, we create great ideas. And then you look at our model and you say, okay, well, we can get to use these incredible people to create great ideas. Why wouldn't you want to try it? But I think just a caveat, I don't think it's the future of advertising. I think it is a future, a way of doing it. But I do fundamentally know that the future of advertising over the next 10 years will swing back big time towards the creative product and then developing the services around. And I know it because I'm busy doing that for a lot of clients, big clients now.
And I don't think that, sorry to interrupt, but I don't think it should be seen as a competitor to advertising.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Agencies in any sense of the word, because I think it should be seen as an asset, and I think it can be something that we feed off and they feed us. When they need that particular skill in a particular area that may not be their core business.
So you're guns for hire. That's what you are.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what that's what I've been my whole life. Okay, so I'm not going to change that. But what ultimately what we're providing is really experienced people who've got the best creative chops and strategic chops in the country and in the world that can provide you an amazing product and an amazing idea. And then what we're saying to you is that the part that we're not so interested in is the running of the core business, but providing them the path that they can actually take that forward for as long as they like and bring us in when it needs refreshing again.
All right, so I'm looking at the three of you, all well-known luminaries in the South African advertising industry, the global advertising industry. I'm seeing middle-aged to old white guy, middle-aged to very old white guy, and a very young, and a very young woman.
Young-looking, thanks to makeup.
Where's the black talent? Where are the skills coming from? Gillian Rightford?
In assembling the group of people that will be part of the team, we have already secured a number of incredible black creative teams, strategists, marketers, and they will be part of the team. So when our website is up and running, you'll see that they're there. And they are significant, but they also are senior, experienced, renowned, and talented people. But obviously, it's a collective of people who, a lot of them have their own businesses already or their own organizations. And we're tapping into it and we're providing opportunity amongst ourselves. So we are conscious of it, and we think we've got good talent.
Matthew Bull, are you open for business? Final question. Are you up and running? Have you got business in South Africa yet?
Yes. good conversations going. We've already won a little bit of business here and there, and we'll shake it up big time, make no mistake.
We look forward to seeing the progress of this new concept in advertising. To the three of you, thank you very much indeed. You're not that old, Rob.
No, he's not.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Magzie.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
And that's our program for this week. Let us know what you think of these and other stories on our social media platforms. Until next time, goodbye to you and thank you for watching.